The best high school hoop superstars have come to play in Portland, Oregon. This is the 25th men's edition of the Nike Hoop Summit. It's the United States and the world teams ready to clash in an elite showcase of future stars. One of those stars is Cooper Flagg. He is so highly anticipated to step on the floor for the Duke Blue Devils in the mix for the #1 pick in the 2025 draft. Dylan Harper is off to Piscataway for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights come the fall. But right now, he's repping his country in this Nike Hoop Summit. As we welcome you courtside, everybody, I'm John Fanta with a man who knows what this event means because he played in it 25 years ago. It's Casey Jacobsen, the pride of the Stanford Cardinals. So Casey, there's so much buzz for these kids. They're about to step onto the hardwood for their college teams. What does this event mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stars. We're going to talk about them all day, but this is more than an all-star game, John, because it's about the name on the front. It's not a high school. It's not a college. It's your home country or the home country of your ancestors. So that means a lot more. Plus, this isn't just a game where these guys show up yesterday and roll the balls out. For instance, the world team, they've been here for 10 days preparing for this game. This is going to be really competitive.
Did you hear me mention a Rutgers Scarlet Knight?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of this recruiting class. In fact, it's not just part of it. The Scarlet Knights have 2 of the top 3 players in the class. We talked about Dylan Harper, but what impressed you the most about Ace Bailey?
Everything. Like, he has all the intangibles. You know, he's considered the ace recruit of this class along with Cooper Flagg. He's 6'8". He plays the wing, which makes him a matchup nightmare at this level. He said he's committed to Rutgers next year. He's got really no glaring weaknesses. He can shoot it from the outside, and he can play defense. But if we are going to pick one guy that you want to watch, don't take your eyes off Cooper Flagg. He's from Maine, but he's played his last 2 years of high school basketball in Florida at Montverde Academy. He's 6'9", he's versatile. You see the handle, but he's the best two-way prospect, meaning he can play both defense and offense.
Cooper Flagg, an elite rim-protecting presence. We get the front row seats in tonight. Let's welcome in the third member of our team with more on this world squad. And their leader, Kim Adams, joins us.
Thanks, John and Casey. Well, we mentioned how big of a moment this is for a lot of players. It's absolutely a massive moment for the world team head coach Marshall Cho, who is making his head coaching debut for this team after serving as an assistant coach last season. He is an immigrant from South Korea with an incredible path that includes Teach for America in New York City, going to Africa for 3 years, battling different coaching positions. He is in his element here. He's recognizing this moment, and he is joined behind me by 22 members of his family who are all very excited to be here. We've got kids, we've got aunts and uncles. You guys are on. They are excited to watch Coach Cho. A big moment for his mom here as well, who is battling cancer, and he's very excited that she is here to watch him.
And that's bigger than basketball right there, Kim. Thank you very much. Let's turn to our starting lineups. And folks, we told you about some of the U.S. stars, but on the world side, Casey Jacobsen, how about the future Baylor Bear? You were impressed with him today, VJ Edgecombe.
Oh, he's got everything you want from a shooting guard perspective. He can shoot it from the outside, but he's super aggressive, plays both ends of the floor, and he's a great young man. We got to talk to him. How mature did he sound?
And we've got a 17-year-old here. His name is AJ Dybantsa, and he has massive upside.
Yeah, so we talked about Cooper Flagg being the #1 ranked prospect in the class of 2024. AJ Dybantsa is the number 1 ranked player in the class of 2025, so still going into his senior year next season.
There is Marshall Cho, Jeju, South Korea. And on the other side for the United States, Sharman White. He is the leader, a multi-gold medalist with USA Basketball. The U.S. in the white, the world in the gray. And the United States will start with the basketball. As we just brought up, Cooper Flagg, he'll wear number 9 in this game. Get ready for the Cooper Flagg show.
He's not like a dominant scorer, although he can do that at times. I think his superpower is on the defensive end. He plays super hard, really good shot blocker.
Part of Montverde Academy, which won a national championship this past week. Ace Bailey the future Rutgers Scarlet Knight gets it started.
He averaged 33 points a game last year in high school, along with 16 rebounds and a whole bunch of other stuff. There isn't really anything that Ace Bailey can't do. Nice start for him.
Flory Bindunga heading to Kansas, gives the basketball off. 3 on the shot clock, Dibansa. Long on his first attempt. Asa Newell with the rebound. And here's Dylan Harper. Yes, the younger brother of Ron Harper Jr., who led the resurrection of Rutgers men's basketball under Steve Peichel. Now his younger brother heading to Piscataway.
And don't forget the son of Ron Harper Sr., 5-time NBA world champ.
That one falls for Newell.
And John, his mom played as well. Mom's from the Philippines.
Yeah, it's a heck of a family, the Harpers. Asa Newell making a couple of plays in the opening moments of this ball game. We heard about his engine earlier today.
And Dylan Harper's mom, Maria, she's actually his assistant coach at the high school level for Dom Bosco Prep in New Jersey. And she played college basketball at the University of New Orleans. Well, that's a basketball family. That's their business. That's what they do.
7 on the shot clock here. Just underway in the Nike Hoop Summit men's game. Newell heading to Georgia. Asa Newell, we talked with this coaching staff earlier. They said Asa does all the little things and more.
Yeah, and he's at Montverde Academy as well with Cooper Flagg, so he's kind of used to being, kind of playing off of others, the star power there.
On the take, Edgecombe is fouled.
John, as broadcasters, are we allowed to have favorite guys? Are we allowed to do that? I mean, it's kind of an exhibition, so.
At the Nike Hoop Summit, your stock is limitless, Casey Jacobson. You can. This is April. You're allowed to sprinkle your stock around because you're going to be covering these players next season.
I am buying a lot of stock in this young man right here, VJ Edgecombe. We talked to him earlier today. We asked about his commitment to Baylor. He was, he's a top 10 prospect, and he was the last, or the very latest top 10 prospect to hold out his recruiting and announce. And in January, he says he's going to Baylor, and I think he's going to be a perfect fit there. Baylor, the last 4 years, has been a top 10 offense in the country. They always get 5-star prospects, too, at least the last 4 years. And he's just the latest.
And he was fouled in the news this week as that alley-oop attempt was shut down by Flory Bindunga. Following the news that Scott Drew was rumored in the Kentucky coaching search. He said, I left Coach Drew alone, but it's nice to see that he is staying at Baylor, and I committed to Coach Drew because of his great faith and how he uses that as a tool in his program. As there's Cooper Flagg.
Yeah, there's so much coaching change going on. We're going to get into it throughout the broadcast. John Calipari leaves Kentucky. Eric Musselman goes to USC, right? There's kind of crazy stuff going on right now. Andy Enfield leaving for SMU.
One off for Edgecombe. There is no off season in basketball. Runner a little bit off for Ian Jackson.
But it's important to mention because these young men, they're not just choosing schools, they're choosing coaches. They go hand in hand.
Traore with a tough shot on the drive.
There are a lot of Americans that are watching this broadcast right now that have never heard the name of Nolan Traore. And get used to it. He is a 6'5" point guard that plays at his own pace. And he's exactly what you want at a lead guard position.
Only 17 years young. He's from France.
And here's what I'm talking about, just taking what the defense gives. He's tall enough and physical enough to get in the lane against Cooper Flagg or whoever you want to bring in. Watch him change hands in midair. He sees Cooper Flagg coming on his right shoulder. Says, all right, go with the left.
Casey, wasn't it interesting hearing from a guy like VJ Edgecombe today, who has played high school ball at Long Island Lutheran? He's represented the Bahamas tonight. He's on the world team. He said these international players, their IQ is the highest I've ever played with.
Yeah, he wasn't trying to, talk trash about the American guys, but he said, I don't know what they do over there in Europe with these guys and Asia. These guys understand basketball at such a high level at such a young age.
Extra opportunity here for the Americans. Here's Harper looking for Flagg. That was intercepted.
Flag was open, but Harper took about a second too long. And the athleticism on the floor right now, John, if you wait a second, that gap is closed.
Best of the best at this 25th annual Nike Hoop Summit. Traore with 4 on the shot clock. Traore heaves and hits. Hello, Nolan Traore.
And over the outstretched arms of Newell, too. 6'9", and almost a 7-foot wingspan. He had to put a little extra arc on that one.
You talk about pace. There's something to be said about a guy who can slow it down to his liking.
And I want my point guard to be able to play quickly in bursts, but also slow it down when we need it.
Edgecombe Cash. VJ Edgecombe off to Baylor.
Well, Team USA gets off to a good start offensively, but here comes Team World right back. Back-to-back threes. I expect this one to go right down to the wire, just like the women's game.
8 straight points for Team World. There's Cooper Flag, silky smooth.
Yeah, so Cooper is a developing perimeter shooter. His three-point shot isn't great yet. He can make some, but his mid-range game, we've already seen it twice, off the bounce. And that was a beautiful fade, too.
Ibanza is off, and the rebound to the Americans. Newell's been all over the glass early with a head of steam. Harper, that was rejected.
I thought that was a goaltend.
It looked like it, but they didn't call it. Is Badung on the block, but look at Harper get to the deck. Flag to Jackson, 2 hands.
This is not an all-star game, and there's an example right there. Harper, Pete Rose style, trying to get an extra possession, and we're still in the first quarter. We just passed the halfway point in the first quarter.
Edgecombe, and they'll count that one.
Yeah, I think those calls should have been reversed. The first one, I thought.
Anticipated college hoops player entering the 2024-25 season, and his intensity never wavers.
Yeah, he's earned all his accolades, John, but absolutely. He's got the skill set, but he's got the right mentality, trying to prove himself every single day. He's off to a really nice start in this one. 2 for 2 from the field, both on mid-range jumpers. And just 2 weeks ago, when a lot of these young men played in the McDonald's All-American game, Cooper Flag had just 8 points on 3 of 9 shooting, and he played the most minutes of anybody in the game, 28 minutes in that one. So already off to a much better start here.
Boogie Fland off on his first attempt. Fland originally committed and still committed to Kentucky. That obviously carries its own storylines with all the coaching changes, and who of John Calipari's class will follow him to Arkansas, a major storyline here with certain prospects decommitting. As that's a rejection, here comes Flag.
No doubt. Now Mark Pope is the new coach at Kentucky, and I'm sure he's on the phone trying to talk to Boogie Fland and get him to lead his squad next season, because this number 7 in white is truly one of the special point guards in the country, and that's the most important position. As much as I love shooting guards, I was a shooting guard, I got to give it up to the point guards.
A couple of subs in here now for the United States. Jaden Quaintance checking in, as well as Bailey. Trey Johnson, the Texas signee. And he has electrified an EYBL. Diallo tangled up, and Flag comes up with it for the Americans. Giveaway this time. Casey, you talk about Cooper Flag. A native Mainer has not been drafted to the NBA in 40 years. Not since the New Jersey Nets selected Jeff Turner in 1984.
Yeah, I don't know who Jeff Turner is. You?
No.
Shouts to Jeff if you're watching, big time. But yeah, there's only one player who's played in the NBA in the last 20 years from Maine. That is Duncan Robinson. That is it. And he wasn't drafted.
Edgecombe catch and shoot. In and out. And Quaintance comes down with it. Look at Flag leap for the basketball.
Love this matchup right here.
Cooper Flag.
That was tremendous defense by VJ Edgecombe, who is 4 inches shorter than Cooper Flag, and made that a nearly impossible shot, but it goes down.
How about the defensive activity of Fland? Flan goes up top, and Quaintance throws it down.
Quaintance, another Kentucky guy. Quaintance is the youngest player on the floor today, just 16 years old, folks. Yes, number 15 in white is just 16. He doesn't look it.
Youngest player here. Tough take by Dybantsa, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Well, after a slow start for Team USA, their defense has been awesome. But Cooper Flagg going up high, and then watch this one-on-one. These are two of the best players in the country. Not at the same position. That's why Cooper Flagg goes to that fadeaway where he can keep the ball high and use that 6'9" frame. And then here off the steal, Boogie Flan. Boogie's like a pretty cool name for basketball players too, right? Like Boogie Ellis at USC, Boogie Cousins, former NBA player. So
it's the perfect name for a sport that has the big dance.
That's it. Yeah. Boogie Flan definitely wants to be going dancing at Kentucky.
Dybantsa 1 for 2 from the line.
And Kentucky fans want Boogie Flan to go and get a win in the NCAA tournament. They lost. They were a 3 seed this year, lost to Oakland. Jack Golke goes for 10 threes in that one, John.
Nobody's made more of a name for himself in the last month than Mr. Golke. Here's Dybantsa trying to drive on Flagg, and he got fouled going up. That's the 1v1 matchup people were anticipating, and A.J. Dybantsa heading to the line.
His athleticism is on full display, how long and lanky he is. And there's few players that are more athletic than Cooper Flagg. This might be one of them right here. My favorite A.J. Dybantsa story, John, was so his dad wanted him to be a basketball player since the day he was born. It was like, I'm gonna make this kid a basketball player. Well, the first 4 to 5 years of AJ's life, he rejected it. He wanted to play other games. He was obsessed with Marvel movies. He was obsessed with Spider-Man. Well, one day his dad's walking in a store and he finds a basketball hoop that is just covered in Spider-Man. And he goes, oh, I'm gonna buy this, bring it home to AJ. And he said the rest was history. He was obsessed with that Spider-Man basket, and now look at him. He'll be able to afford all the Spider-Man baskets he wants.
You bet. I'd say Pops knows best as well. His dad is from Congo. Mom is from Jamaica. AJ said he wants to be listed from Brockton, Massachusetts, which is where he's from, because he doesn't want to steal the thunder from either of his parents. He represents both Congo and Jamaica.
So these world team players have flags on their left chest, and he's got both Jamaica and the Republic of Congo on his chest.
And he's got game. He's going to head back to the free throw line. The leader that he's become. That's what Marshall Cho told us earlier this morning, that they're just seeing a natural evolution of AJ charging a huddle, talking to guys, leading the workouts.
It makes sense. I mean, his dad is a police officer, right? So no nonsense vocal guy. And AJ's learning and finding his voice. The most interesting thing that Marshall Cho told us today about AJ to me was, I have to get on him about shooting more. As you take a look at the timeline of AJ Dybantsa, like, he had one of the best summers in the country last year. Led the Peach Jam, which was one of the biggest tournaments in AAU basketball in scoring. Won a gold medal for the FIBA U16 Americas. He is now the top recruit, #1 ranked recruit in the 2025 class. So he reclassifies, John. He should just be finishing his sophomore year. That's crazy.
It's insane. Harper fighting for it. And Boateng coming up with the steal as Team World has settled in nicely here. Sparas Jakučionis checking in for the World team. He's got the basketball now. He's from Lithuania.
Nice pass.
Beautiful delivery. That came from Chomchi.
And to see that pass is one thing, but to make that off the bounce, incredible pass.
Harper is fouled.
This was so nice. We got to see it twice. And we're going to take a look at the camera view where you can see what Chomchi was looking at. And if you're going to find one guy, find where VJ Edgecombe is at. A perfectly timed back cut by VJ.
It's interesting talking with people about the man that's at the line right now, Dylan Harper. You think Casey, some of the top recruits, they're thinking Kentucky, they're thinking Duke, they're thinking Kansas. You don't see Rutgers in the mix. In fact, since recruiting services were widely available around 2005 or so and went into the weeds, Rutgers has only ever had one top 50 recruit. They now have 2 of the top 3. One of the things that was brought up about Dylan Harper was he knows what he's getting from Steve Pikiell. Steve Pikiell, he coaches his kids hard. You have to defend.
He coached his brother, so he knows it too. He knows exactly what to expect, and he's also, he's bringing one of his buddies over there as well.
And Ace Bailey, who's featured tonight. Now Riley to Edgecombe. Edgecombe with the shot clock down to 2. The rebound to Team USA. Bailey with the board. Harper,
Nice.
so easy getting to the rim. And Quaintance is fouled.
A lot to love about Dylan Harper's game. And we're talking about Rutgers. They were 15-17 last year after the previous year making the NCAA tournament. We talked about the duo that Steve Pikiell, the head coach for Rutgers, is going to get. Ace Bailey, the number 2 ranked player in the class of 2024. You're looking at him right now, number 4, and Dylan Harper.
It's a special time in Piscataway. They are building up the anticipation. And people may not realize nationally, Rutgers, before they went to the NCAA tournament in 2021, they hadn't been in 30 years.
Oh, they were irrelevant. They were irrelevant. Steve Pikiell has rebuilt that program. And he's going to have to rebuild this next year's roster, but way to start with Ace Bailey and Dylan as your core.
Corner 3 swishes home. Kasparas Jakučionis, the pride of Lithuania.
I know a lot of Lithuanian ballers, man. That is a country of just under 3 million people, John, and they are obsessed with poop.
Dylan Harper and 1.
So nice. There's a lot of comparisons we can make about Dylan Harper, and I'm not going to do the easy route. I'm not going to go, his brother or his dad. You've heard it before, maybe, but Jalen Brunson. I think Dylan Harper is a little bit more athletic than Jalen Brunson. Jalen's probably a better perimeter shooter than Dylan Harper is, but they're both lefty. They don't overwhelm you with athleticism. Their basketball IQ, the way that they play the game, they often play off 2 feet when they get in the lane. Dylan Harper, last thing I'll say about him is he's a guy that I would love to play with because he makes the right basketball play, but he can also take over a game if you need him.
During the Nike EYBL circuit last spring and summer, averaged 20 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists per game for his NY Rens program. Now a steal and a foul. That's all because of the hustle from the guy that we heard about does the hustle for this team, Asa Newell.
Asa is the perfect guy to put at the head of a press. It looked like a 1-2-2 zone full court press look, and Sharman White, the head coach for Team USA, they have 3 different defenses that they like to run. Man-to-man, they'll have a 1-3-1 zone look in the half court, and then they'll also pick you up the full 94 feet.
Asa Newell, part of Montverde Academy. Kevin Boyle has built an absolute monster out there.
They've won 7 of the last 11 national championships, and Kevin Boyle's record is 344 wins, just 27 losses. I had to double check that. That just sounds like insane. They went 34-0 this season. I mean, they were loaded with talent, okay, right? But still.
7 first-round picks since 2020 from Montverde Academy.
So that's an average of like 2 a year.
You're not bad at math either.
I try. I was told that we weren't going to have to do live math on TV, though.
Not sure who told you that. The officials determined with the scores table that the United States is in the bonus off that foul. So Newell knocks that down. 1 for 2. 18.96 with the shot clock turned off, but this press is on.
And it's going to stay on. Why not?
Traore with a dangerous pass to Riley. Riley with a euro, can't connect. And with the second effort, Dibonsa gives the world team the lead. 5 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Dylan Harper. Harper with 2. Harper short, and Team World has a 1-point lead after 1.
This is the world and MVP for the Team USA. These are the notable world MVP selections throughout the years. This game was first played in 1995, but it was the first time that America was introduced to Dirk Nowitzki and his flowing locks from Würzburg. But honestly, John, if you think about the best players in the NBA right now, almost all of them are outside of the United States. Nikola Jokic, Giannis, Luka, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is Canadian, and of course Wemby. Wemby's got next. He's from France, and he is awesome.
Wemby had that block of Jokic last night as the Spurs knocked off the Nuggets. Nike Hoop Summit has had 287 alumni drafted in the NBA.
Oh.
That dunk is in and out. Unfortunate for Kamen Malowich, who's just checked into the game. The Duke commit.
He'd like to have that one back. He needed to jump about 2 inches higher. He's a project, right? He's got what you can't teach, which is 7'2" tall and a wingspan, but he's still kind of raw offensively. More of a shot blocker and a rebounder right now.
Only picked up basketball a couple years ago. Was into, as he said, football earlier today.
Which means soccer outside of the United States. Let's be clear about that. People are like, really? That guy played like quarterback? No, he did.
Newell a little bit long. You think about the history of this event, 25th edition. There's a drive to the bucket. Traore with another nice move. But to think that this is the 25th, Casey, and they've had 15 #1 picks.
Man, 15 #1 picks, 38 All-Stars, I believe, total?
Correct.
This game is definitely a precursor for what these young men are going to become. Nice defense there from Ace Bailey.
On the other end, Jackson back to Bailey.
And this is what we talked about with Bailey and Cooper Flagg, the #1 and #2 ranked players. They are both ends of the floor. They're not guys who get the stat sheet at the end of the game and look at how many shots and points I got. They play both ends. They're shot blockers. They're professional thieves as well.
Extra opportunity for Team World. And Casey, if you're seeing that from them at this level, just how big is that?
Well, yeah, I mean, both of them can still gain muscle, right? Strength in the weight room, but like you can't teach whether or not you have that dog in you, and whether you want to take on that challenge. And both of them do.
A line change here for the United States. Just checking in, David Castillo. He's heading to Kansas State wearing number 10 for the Americans. As Devanza was just getting held on to by Isaiah Evans.
Isaiah Evans, just one of the other Dukies in this game. We got 4 Duke players on the rosters here. John Shire, the head coach at Duke, has signed 6 players. 4 of them are here in Portland.
A lot of people wondered what would happen once Shire took over for Mike Krzyzewski. The recruiting has just accelerated down in Durham. #1 class in 2024. That is a pretty bucket by Isaiah Evans.
I'm not even sure he saw the rim there until the very last second. Kind of just threw that one up.
And one. Honor Boateng heading to Missouri.
Dennis Gates is the head coach at Missouri, and I played against Dennis when he was at Cal Berkeley, and I was at Stanford. A tremendous competitor, a great defensive player, and after making the NCAA tournament 2 years ago, in his first season, Dennis Gates, they struggled last year. They need to rebuild the team, and who do you want to start with? This guy right here, and watch this dunk of him in high school. Are you kidding me? What? Yeah. This guy's going to be a Missouri Tiger, and all you fans in the SEC, get ready for those kind of highlights. You know how much fun the game of basketball would be if you could, jump that high, dunk that hard. Man.
Casey, I'm admiring all of that.
That was one of the best dunks I've seen in years, right there. Seriously.
Just nasty. 6 on the shot clock here for the Americans. Newell cannot connect. And the rebound to Team World, Malowich. Devanza, just 17 years of age. A nice pass mid-air. That three a little bit off, and the rebound to the Americans. It's Harper up the floor to Newell. Asa Newell, that's straight up defense by Traore.
He was the last line of defense. It was him, or he almost could have got dunked on, but let's give Traore some credit there.
Blocking foul called on Castillo. It feels like there's more than one Nolan Traore.
There's two freshmen out there? I'm gonna check my roster again. I think there's only one, but again, this is in pick and roll situations. He just takes what the defense gives and he will dissect you with the pass. How about here, the step back over Asa's outstretched hands and give him a runway, and he's creative. He can even finish above the rim. And we were talking to world head coach Marshall Cho, and he said, if we're gonna win today, Traore is gonna be one of the biggest reasons why. So you see his current team is the Central Fédéral. That's a team in Paris in the 3rd division of France. However, just I believe 2 weeks ago, he did get called up to the 1st division for a game, right? When you play in those younger divisions, sometimes they can call you up, kind of like the G League to the NBA kind of situation. But he's averaging over 16 points a game in that 3rd division in France.
The NBL could also be an option for him, as that left hand was pretty. Chomche.
1-2-2 3/4 court press for Team World, trying to speed up or maybe just take some seconds off the shot clock. I think it's important to mention right now that we are playing FIBA rules, 24-second shot clock instead of 30.
And one for Newell.
Hey, Asa, his hair's flopping in the breeze, man, and this guy works hard. Shot goes up, he never assumes that his teammates are gonna make a layup or a jumper. Asa Newell just doing yeoman's work down there. He knows he's not a guy that's gonna have a ton of plays run for him, and so he's willing and able to do all those other things. They didn't run a ton of stuff for him at Montfort, but he was flying all over the place.
A magnet to the basketball. And Asa Newell evens this game at 30. You said it, 24-second shot clock. You've got 4 10-minute quarters, which is opposite of what they'll see in college with the 20-minute halves still in place.
Men's college basketball is the only level of basketball where we're still playing 2 halves. I don't fully understand why, but I don't make the rules.
Ivansa short, scramble for the basketball here. Do you feel like it's time to change?
I do feel like it's time to change, yeah. So we're playing FIBA rules, and 24-second shot clock will speed the tempo up of this game as Boogie Flan gets a really nice runner off the opposite leg to go down. Both these teams want to run, John.
Watch out, Ivansa flies.
That was off a made basket by Team USA. That was an outlet and, what, 2 dribbles and you give up a dunk?
It is hard to believe that's the frame of a 17-year-old. Nice. Boogie Flan. Boogies his way to the hoop.
You see how high he put that ball? I think it actually grazed the very top corner of the top of the backboard.
Now Edgecombe with a filthy finish, and these two teams are delivering the goods right now.
I'm just gonna sit back, grab a cup of water, and just enjoy this.
At least get some popcorn to accompany the water.
Gets stuck in my teeth sometimes. Oh, nice.
Now a steal by Edgecombe. The future Baylor Bear with 2 hands.
I've watched a lot of VJ Edgecombe on tape. He never gets rattled, right? He made a dunk. He's not woofing or hollering. He just stays even. And
in the Bahamas, he said he started playing basketball when he was 8 years old in a yard, shooting on a basket that had a crate rim. Flash forward to 2020, he decided to come to the U.S. to pursue this basketball dream. It was a huge sacrifice, leaving his family, leaving his mom, Bendra, who was a TSA agent in the Bahamas. And when he got to the U.S., he actually wasn't able to play high school basketball for 2 years because COVID was going on. He didn't even have access to a weight room. He was doing YouTube workouts and push-ups in the yard. And what I think is great about VJ Edgecombe, he is already using his NIL money. He's given 3 students scholarships at his old school, Gateway Christian Academy in the Bahamas, and he has plans to do even more in his future.
That is amazing, Kim. It really is.
It's not surprising after we've gotten to know him a little bit. The guy has his head on his shoulders and is like he's a worker too. He loves hoop. Like he barely has any other hobbies besides playing ball.
Corner 3 is off. He said 3 years ago he left his home in the Bahamas for one simple reason. He wanted to get a free education so his mom wouldn't have to pay for college. Everything he does is for his mother.
I love that. And not too many players from Bahamas make it big time. Buddy Hield immediately comes to mind, the former first-team All-American from Oklahoma, and was drafted by the Sacramento Kings, still in the NBA right now, playing for the Philadelphia 76ers.
And you talked about it earlier with Dylan Harper's mom coaching him, and we think about VJ's mom and her influence. It's not taking away anything from the dads out there, but so many power moms here, whether they're courtside in the stands or watching tonight, that have been so influential on their son's development.
No doubt. And Kim Adams even talked about Marshall Cho, the head coach for Team World, and the influence that his mother has had on him and their family. Their entire family moved back to take care of Marshall Cho's mother when she was diagnosed with cancer. The doctor said she'll live maybe 2 to 10 years. Well, it's been over 10 years right now, and she's here at the Moda Center.
So special. 5 on the shot clock here. Dibonsa. Great defense by the United States to keep him from finding an open lane. And with 1 on the shot clock, the possession arrow is with the Americans. They'll take it.
Hard to keep A.J. Dibonsa in front. There is Marshall Cho's mother, originally from Jeju, South Korea. And he is so grateful to have his mom. How much energy did Marshall Cho have? I mean, like he couldn't even contain it. It was amazing.
We came out of shoot-around saying, Marshall, you can run the world. He's just got it. And the kids respond to it.
And we were having a conversation with him about the game, and then he saw something. Zoom Diallo made some mistake, and he hops up off of the scores table and sprints over to him and instructs him as Traore is going to get the easiest 2 points of this game so far. Yeah, if Team World could play with half the energy that Marshall Cho has, they're going to win this game.
Nolan Traore with 9 points in this first half. Each member of Team World talked to a couple of youth teams after practice as Boogie Flan knocks down the triple. But Coach Cho had each of his Team World members speak in their native language as they were talking about their basketball journey. It was rather cool to listen to.
Yeah, it was a meeting just outside of the Portland Trailblazers locker room. It was kind of like a presentation of everybody's purpose and who they're playing for today.
Bailey's foot was on the out-of-bounds line.
Cho said, if we're going to win today, Traore has got to be the leader, and he's doing it at both ends. This is what they call a 3-on-0 fast break. That he should those 100% of the time. Well, I don't know where Team USA was on that one, but nobody even got across half court.
We've got a timeout called by Team World with 2:18 to go in this first half. Next Saturday on Fox, the United Football.
What he has become is truly mind-blowing, because he's probably, I don't want to talk trash about Jokic at all, probably the slowest player in the NBA, and no one can stop him.
Edge come off on the attempt, and Jokic and the Nuggets having up their title defense with the NBA playoffs, the play-in tournament this upcoming week, and the postseason revs up in full form next weekend, which is why this is the perfectly timed basketball event.
Wow. I got to sit next to Chauncey Billups yesterday at team practices, who's the head coach for the Portland Trailblazers. He stuck his head in for 10 minutes or so. Chauncey, one of the best in the biz, man. He's such a nice guy.
12 on the shot clock here. Bailey.
Oh.
Ace Bailey is an ace.
And he struggled 2 weeks ago in the McDonald's All-American game. He just had 6 points on 2 of 9 shooting. And he'd like to make a stronger offensive impression. But regardless of whether or not the ball's going in, John, he always plays on this end of the floor.
Edge come, long, tap down the United States. Here's Dylan Harper, chance to go 2 for 1 if they'd like. Oh, that's a turnover. Second time there's been a foot out of bounds for the Americans.
And Team USA has not gone off to a good start shooting from distance. But here, a tough one goes in. Just the third made 3 for Team USA so far. That's when it helps to be 6'9", right? You just like a step back and you have that reach. Good luck trying to get a fingertip on that basketball.
Just checking in for the first time, Qingfeng Pang from China for the world team. Traore has been impressive running the point.
Yeah, this is my favorite matchup right now that we got going here with Boogie Flan. Let's see how they guard the pick and roll. I would trap him, get the ball out of his hands.
Traore got a step. Gliding in, hanging and hitting.
Yeah, they got to make an adjustment there. He's a handful.
5 seconds here for Jackson. Ian Jackson off to North Carolina. Jackson to try to beat the buzzer. It's short. Tip back doesn't go. Wouldn't have counted anyways. And the Americans are up by 2 at the break.
Maybe could be successful without it, but I guarantee they wouldn't be able to travel the world and have those cultural experiences otherwise if they didn't play this wonderful game. And a lot of these young men too, let's not get it twisted, they're going to make a lot of money for themselves and their families in the NBA.
Cooper Flag got stuffed by Malawach, his future Duke teammate, and out of bounds he's called. On Ian Jackson, that's the 3rd time tonight for the United States.
Yeah, Ian Jackson has had a tough go of it so far, just 1 for 3 from the field, a couple of turnovers, stepped out of bounds twice. Captain Jack is a baller though, number 8 in white. Just let him get going even for a minute, he could take over this game.
Malawach with the handoff here to Devansa, who got stripped. Dylan Harper with the strip, 7 on the shot clock. Talked about Brunson comparisons. Donovan Mitchell's also been brought up.
Oh my, Donovan Mitchell.
With Dylan Harper a little bit.
I mean, Donovan Mitchell is one of the more athletic shooting guards in the NBA.
Traore with another bucket. And if there's a takeaway right now from the world team, Nolan Traore has been superb.
He's a combo guard. He can play the point, but he can turn into a scoring guard if you want him to.
Bailey. To have that size and that shot.
Yeah, and Ace Bailey, we asked the coaches, like, who's the most vocal guy? And they were like, Ace Bailey. He talks all the time in a good way.
Edgecombe got his own miss, couldn't connect. Gets a 3rd look at it, a 4th opportunity, and at long last, Cooper Flag. Flag, he has struggled here tonight. Well, trying to get to it, and here comes Team World. Devansa with 2 hands. Common Malawach.
The Team World's got 2 big-time dunkers, and Malawach and Flory Bidunga. Those guys, you give them the ball around the rim, and they're going to rip the rim right off the hinges.
A.J. Devansa glides in. That's pretty.
Do the long strides. Even when he runs back on defense, he can get from the basket to half court in like 4 steps.
Up to 11, and Harper answers. Nothing but net. Traore trying to find his man. And it'll go back to the United States. Let's rejoin Kim Adams.
Hey, John. Well, I have a very special guest. We didn't get to recap the amazing comeback from Team USA, so I'm joined by Joyce Edwards, future South Carolina Gamecock. She was a big part of that comeback. Joyce, what allowed your team to make that huge run and get the win?
I feel like we really focused on defensive intensity. I feel like that was the main goal, and it kind of got our offense to flow more. And I knew that if we got stopped, we were going to win the game.
And then to have Team USA across that jersey, what did it mean to get that gold medal?
I mean, it's definitely an honor. Obviously, everybody wasn't selected for this, and it improves your self-confidence knowing that other people think that you're the best of the best. And honestly, it just feels good inside.
And we see you watching this game. I know you said maybe a lawyer, environmental engineer. We're going to put you in your coach or analyst hat right now. What are you seeing from this men's game right now?
I see a lot of silly turnovers, especially from the USA team stepping out of bounds, trying to shoot threes. But hopefully they get the dub,
Joyce Edwards, calling them out. We'd love to keep it straight. Well, Joyce, we're very excited to see all that you go on to do with South Carolina. Coach Dawn Staley, thanks so much for joining us.
Of course, thank you.
All right, John.
We are all Joyce Edwards fans. We will buy all the stock there.
I think USA head coach Sherman White needs to invite Joyce into his next huddle and motivate a little light of fire under these guys, huh?
Traore with the dish. DeBenza with the finish.
Those two already have a connection.
Yes. Flag is short. Traore has eyes in the back of his head, Casey. There's that connection. Traore was tripped up. Left wide open. Jackson can't connect. United States in a little bit of a drought right now.
Yeah, I've been watching Cooper Flagg the last 3 possessions as well, and because he has 3 fouls, he's not his aggressive self. And I understand it. I'm not like judging him. He kind of has to be that way, but his game is predicated on him kind of just letting it loose. And right now, he seems constrained.
Traore.
By the way, Dawn Staley and the South Carolina Gamecocks, the rich get richer, man. Like, the best players, they're just coming off an undefeated season, national championship, and they had the MVP of the Hoop Summit game to keep that train rolling down the tracks. Let's see if UConn next year can give South Carolina a run. Maybe USC as well is reloading with Lindsey Gottlieb at the helm. I'm all in on women's hoops, Don. I have 3 daughters. One of them plays basketball. I don't know if I've watched more women's basketball in the last 12 months than I have in my whole life combined.
It's an amazing time for the game. It really is. And the WNBA draft is next. You think Indiana's excited?
Didn't they just sign a new TV deal or something like that?
Yep.
Yeah, good for them.
Ratings at an all-time high. And we covered history at Fox with Caitlin Clark breaking Pete Maravich's record. It was a really special season.
I got to work a couple of women's games on Fox.
There's Cooper Flagg's aggressiveness.
Yep. Don't push off, but still continue to crash the offensive glass. But yeah, Kim and I got to work a couple of women's studio games. I was honored.
Look out. Raise the flag.
There's a buzz in the crowd when Cooper Flagg is in the open floor. Now, there's a few guys like that in this game. BJ Edgecombe, AJ Devontae, Cooper Flagg are at the top of the list for that.
That's the Cooper Flagg that you were looking to see. July 23rd on FS1. It's all on the road to Paris, and we are excited at Fox to have the USA Basketball Showcase this summer.
That's awesome. And I can't wait for another 4 years where the Olympics are going to be in the U.S., in Los Angeles, 2028. Let's go.
It's an incredible time coming up for our country with not only the Olympic Games, but coming to Fox in a couple of years, the World Cup will be in the United States.
Fox always has the best sporting events, has forever, man. Incredible. Feel lucky to work with all the talented people at Fox.
Our entire crew here tonight in Portland, they've been working all throughout the day. Chirag Devasker, Brian Peters, our director, our wonderful crew, John Fanta, Casey Jacobson, Kim Adams with you from Portland. We got a good one here.
Give me that.
Dylan Harper, that was Jersey style. Rutgers style.
What a pass right there.
Traore, he is a flash.
My goodness. I mean, both of these plays are so awesome. I don't know which one to talk about. Oh, yeah, we're going to show the first one. This is Dylan Harper going end to end. And he is a guy that can just dominate this game. And right here, just hanging, waiting for the contact that never came, but still keeps his eyes up on the rim. But off of that made shot, the outlet pass was perfect to Nolan Traore for the and one.
This kid, you said he's got all his options. He has gone to campus visits to Alabama, Gonzaga, and Xavier.
Oh boy. Did I hear that Mark Few and Gonzaga are the front runners for that? Did I hear that correctly?
They're certainly at the top of that list. NBL also an option. We'll see, but he's got plenty of avenues. That's a nice up and under move by Morris Johnson Jr.
Yeah, they call him Rez. He barely jumped on that one.
He's off to Illinois. That one short, flag with the rebound. Harper attacking. Harper fouled.
This is Rez Johnson Jr. Watch him. Watch this up and under. He barely jumps. He just kind of goes sideways and just flips it up. I don't actually think he jumped at all. Put a little English on that one. Touch around the basket.
Trey Johnson, part of the well-known Link Academy that won the national title last year, committing to Rodney Terry in Texas.
Trey's had a rough start to this one, 0 for 4 from the field, but he had 5 threes just 2 weeks ago in the McDonald's All-American game. And just last week, I actually ran into Texas head coach Rodney Terry, who's one of the best dudes to just sit down and hang out with. And he is so excited. Texas is going to lose Max Asmus, one of the best scorers, pure scorers in the college game. Got to reload. Here's that 1-3-1 we were talking about.
Dibansa breaks the code.
Just like any zone, whether it's 1-3-1, 2-3, if you can somehow get the ball into the middle and draw 2 defenders, all you have to do is make 1 or 2 quick passes and something will open up.
Johnson can't connect, but an extra opportunity. You keep talking about the United States, their ability to rebound. With the extra opportunity, Boogie Flan catches in.
That's the 13th offensive rebound for Team USA. I mean, they're not having a great overall shooting performance, I would say, but still, how do you have a 5-point lead when you're having an off night? You crash the glass.
And it hasn't just been one guy.
All right. Now, Cooper Flagg's been on the bench for most of the first half when they did a lot of their damage.
Edge come off. They almost got an extra chance, but Traore was out of bounds. As Cooper Flagg had that foul trouble in the opening half. A couple of buckets here in the third quarter.
Yeah, he started 3 for 3 in the first half. He's now 2 for 4 in the second. But just to have him on the floor, right? He's one of the leaders of this team. And I mentioned these are teams, John. Like, this is an all-star game, but the team world has been here for 10 days training with one another, going out to eat every single night, bonding as a group. This isn't just like these guys flew in 2 days ago, they had a couple of scrimmages and let's go. It's not like that.
Here is Trey Johnson. That's that knack for getting buckets.
You're going to have a short memory if you're a pure scorer like Trey is. Just because he missed his first 5 doesn't mean you can't stop. You just got to take good ones.
At Peach Jam last summer, he just torched the nets. Dibansa's doing the same. That's back-to-back triples for AJ.
It's impossible for me to think that this guy would just be finishing his sophomore year if he didn't reclassify. So what he basically did was skipped his sophomore season, played this year as a junior, and will be a senior next year. And already one of the most skilled players in all of the country, regardless of class. And this shot, it's like a replay of the first half three-pointer. He's got deep range already, NBA range.
That was stuffed. 5 on the shot clock. Oh, he did a great job of getting his man in the air, did Morris Johnson Jr., and Malawacz that time went for it.
Like most really talented shot blockers, as Malawacz is, they want to do what they do well, right? So they're anxious, and he wants to block everything around the rim, and you give him a shot fake or an eyebrow fake, and you'll get him up.
It was a nice block by Emin Malawacz, who's heading to Duke. He said he's looked up to Giannis Antetokounmpo. He got an opportunity to meet Giannis at the All-Star game.
That's awesome. Giannis is such a great world ambassador for basketball. By the way, just got hurt. We hope that he comes back as soon as possible. Milwaukee's got a real chance to challenge Boston Celtics for that Eastern Conference best team in the East, but they're not going to do it without Giannis healthy. Well, that for sure.
Celtics, Bucks, and Knicks making up that top three in the East. Can't wait for the NBA playoffs. The NBA and USA basketball team up to put this wonderful event together. You think about it, Casey, and you played in this. I was talking with Kim about this earlier today. We just wrapped up the national championship last weekend. Riley is off. Basketball doesn't end. It's year-round.
It never ends for me, man. I wake up thinking about basketball, whether it's August or October. Let's go.
I'm with you.
Everybody around us is trying to convince us that it's football season. I'm not buying it.
No.
Not buying it.
Flag. That jumper keeps on evolving.
So it's interesting, as a jump shooter, he has an unorthodox release. If you watch it, he releases the ball on the side, on the right side of his head. But it's going in more and more as I watch him.
Flag foul.
The hustle players are going to decide a lot, right? The shot goes up, misses. Who's going to win the battle inside the paint? That's Will Riley, who was added late to this game, kind of as an alternate. Somebody got hurt, and Will Riley hails from Canada. Said, absolutely, I'll step up. Have an opportunity. By the way, John, we haven't mentioned, every single NBA team, that is all 30, have a representative yesterday at practice and here at the game today.
And you want to hear Will Riley's college interested list, class of 2025? UCLA, Alabama, Arizona, Michigan, Villanova. And that's just a start. He's the guy that took a late slot in this game. This is the exclusive VIP club, Casey.
I hear you.
This was the only way I was getting in tonight. You, on the other hand, you have an MVP trophy that you can show at the door.
I don't think I have. I don't think they gave me one. I need to call and complain about that. Oh.
You need that. You need that hardware to show your kids. Castillo. Rebound to Malawacz. Shot clock turned off for Team World. Torrey.
Strong quarter for Team USA, but they had a hard time stopping Nolan right here.
Torrey gives it off. Malawacz glides, can't hit. 2 seconds. And that'll do it for quarter number 3. You said it at 1 point. Cooper Flagg is the headlining high school superstar, but he's not the only future Duke Blue Devil that's featured at the Nike Hoop Summit. John Shire, he's got a quartet here.
Isaiah Evans, Cooper Flagg, Patrick Gongba is not available for this game. That's why you haven't seen him on the floor. And then we've seen a lot of Malawacz blocking shots. Yeah, I mean, John Shire is in his 3rd year, going to be in his 3rd year at Duke. Last year, Duke made the Elite Eight, but lost, surprisingly to me, to NC State on that incredible run in the NCAA tournament. But they're going to have to reload. Duke is going to lose Kyle Filipowski, their All-American center, and Jared McCain, their awesome freshman. Both this past week, John, they both declared for the NBA draft, so they're going to need some of those freshmen, maybe not all of them, to step up next year.
John Fanta, Casey Jacobson, Ken Adams with you for quarter number 4. The United States finding some separation. The shot clock at 4 here for the Americans.
Not a lot of plays in your bag to get a good shot with just 4 seconds. Get it in and drive it right to the rim.
Newell got a step. Oh, he was met and fouled by Edgecombe.
The defensive mistake there by Team World. This is a dribble handoff. This should be an easy switch, and instead both players get way too high. And wow, how about the challenge from VJ Edgecombe right there?
That's two really competitive guys that we've talked about tonight, Casey.
Yeah. Checking this. Oh, that's VJ Edgecombe's 4th foul.
Tough.
Yeah, he has been the best player, in my opinion. It's either VJ Edgecombe or Nolan Traore, number 2 in gray, that have been their best players. And I expect VJ to sit at least 5 minutes. Maybe he'll come back with 5 or 4 minutes to go in this one.
A big moment. Edgecombe is the only man with 4 fouls in this game. Cooper Flagg has 3. He's able to make it through the 3rd quarter without committing another. As Newell continues what has been he just goes about his business.
It's what he did this year at Montverde Academy when they went 34-0 this year. I mean, there were nights where Asa Newell was like a star, but most nights he just did his job, right? Bill Belichick would love him. No days off, just do your job. That's what Bill Belichick always says. He would love Asa Newell.
Harper can't hit. Now here comes Team World looking for a surge. Largest deficit they faced tonight. Debansa. You just went back in your chair.
I mean, one ball fake, and his first step is so long.
And Cooper Flagg answers. We are watching greatness at the Nike Hoop Summit. Traore looking for the alley-oop, and that one falls home.
I'm not sure if Nolan Traore has made a mistake in pick and roll today. Like, guys have missed shots, okay, he's missed a couple, but he seemingly always makes the right read.
Now that's picked off by Debansa. A.J. Debansa. Dylan Harper got a piece of it.
Sure did.
And a foul on Debansa.
Watch this first step. No shot fake, pass fake, and then one step, 2 just giant leaps to the basket. And then Cooper Flagg's got a nice first step too. Watch here, jab step right to the middle. A little baby fade. Jacoby Walter at Baylor, like Scott Drew, they needed him. He was a scorer for them. After that, there was a pretty big drop-off.
It's sort of the dilemma that coaches are facing right now in the college game of course you want to go after the best high school superstars, but you've also got 1,200 kids in the transfer portal.
Yeah, that are seasoned, that have played college basketball, that know what it's like, that have been in the weight room for 2, 3, sometimes 4 years. Will those guys will transfers as Cooper Flagg goes left and just takes contact? Hey, he's now really finding his rhythm. I think he's kind of gotten over the fact that he had foul trouble in the first half and was just letting it rip.
Up to 14 points. Let's rejoin Kim.
John, will a player back in the game for Team USA, Boogie Fland. We talked to Team USA head coach Sharman White today and just said, who's a player that maybe stood out to you this week? Boogie Fland was the first player he mentioned in terms of somebody who just continues to get better and better. Boogie Fland out of Archbishop Stepinac High School in White Plains, New York. I caught up with his head coach, Pat Massaroni, today. He said Boogie is a tremendous kid. He has really expanded his game to still be a pass-first point guard, but to be able to score at all 3 levels. The three-point shot.
Whoa! Flying high, Ace Bailey.
Had to let you sneak in on Ace, but the three-point shot, something that has come along for Boogie. And you know I always have to show love to somebody from White Plains, New York, John.
Look at that.
Pride of White Plains, New York, Kim Adams. Traore. Nolan Traore is on Casey Jacobson's All-Summit team.
No doubt. Traore and VJ Edgecombe are keeping Team World in this thing. However, Cooper Flagg and Ace Bailey are starting to find themselves. Team USA still pulling away up. We're going to bring the players back out. We're going to go to a break, but that was a fake. That was a shot fake by us.
And the scores table just working through an issue right now with the officials, so we will stay here. It was a timeout that was not supposed to be a timeout, so we keep playing in a 9-point game here, which gives you more time to talk about Nolan Traore, and I'm not going to complain because you said it. He has been phenomenal.
And the defense right there, too.
Dibansa, alley-oop to Edgecombe. Whoa!
Cooper Flagg tried to play both, like the ball and anticipate that alley-oop, but the athleticism is just too great.
Near turnover,
Lucky.
Bailey to Fland, Boogie Fland, an air ball.
Now watch this in the open floor. This is how you run a fast break without putting the ball on the deck. That is well done. It helps to have athletes like BJ Edgecombe where you can just throw the ball to the corner of the square above the rim and just say, go get it, young man.
Wasn't it great as well to hear just how proud, how much humility BJ Edgecombe possessed when we talked with him this morning?
Yeah, just pride in representing the Bahamas, pride in representing his people, his parents. I can't wait to see him perform at Baylor. Really can.
Edgecombe, long, and the rebound to the United States. Harper, Newell, Flagg, Jackson, Bailey on the floor for the United States. Dylan Harper hit that from Jersey.
And his first attempt from three goes down. It's not his weapon of choice. In fact, in high school this season, he only made a grand total of 43 pointers. He can shoot it, but it's not what he wants.
Traore can't connect. And a scramble here, Flagg is fouled.
USA trying to really put this game away. Team World is in danger zone. Right now, they got to figure out a way to get a couple of stops without fouling. Is this going to be a real timeout right now, John? Everybody seems confused on the floor whether or not they're going to go sit down or we're going to keep playing ball. Why don't we just keep playing?
We're playing.
All right, let's do it.
Talk about Dylan Harper and Rutgers. Steve Pikiell's already picked up a couple transfers to help this dynamic freshman duo. Zach Martini from Princeton and Tyson Acuff, who was a bucket-getting perimeter guard at Eastern Michigan. Scarlet Knights, this roster, it's got complementary pieces coming in. JaMychal Davis expected back as well, close with Dylan Harper. Lot to like. Newell with two hands.
If the defense falls down and no one helps to rotate, that's what's going to happen. I've been as impressed with Asa Newell as anybody, just because I wasn't expecting him to play the kind of role he has so far in this game tonight.
Dibansa. And a foul on Boateng.
Here's that last inbounds play here. Watch the defense here. They're just gonna caught ball watching. No one's talking, no one's pointing. And gotta keep the ball in front. I respect it.
We're told that that was used for the 1999 Nike Hoop Summit.
Yeah,
Did you see it there?
Yeah, tell them like the HD quality of broadcasts have really come a long way. If you don't believe me, just go on YouTube and start looking up stuff in the late 90s.
2-3 zone now from Team World, and that was broken up by Ace Bailey.
And Ace Bailey's now 2 for 6 from 3. He's got a nice looking stroke. The one thing I would say, it is a little bit flat. If he could, maybe increase the trajectory on it, I think he'll be even more consistent, but the mechanics are sound. 8
unanswered for the Stars and Stripes. Boateng breaks up the run, but you got 4:20 on the clock here, Casey, and if Team World's going to make a run at this,
it stops. It has, obviously your offense, you need to score too, but they're usually connected. And right now, Team World has had a hard time playing defense without fouling, communicating. Right now, they're hoping that this 2-3 zone will clog the paint.
Flag off. Ivansa, and a foul is called on Dylan Harper. Just the first team foul by the U.S. in this fourth quarter.
This is the nitty-gritty time, though, right? This is the crunch time. And so both of these coaches aren't worried about getting equal playing time right now. We got to win. And so you're going to go with the group that you have the most trust in. Nice play by Cooper Flagg.
Flagg known for his defensive prowess, shutting down his future Duke teammate Malawach. To the corner, Bailey. Not this time, but there's Cooper Flagg again. Harper to Bailey, and it'll go back to Team World with 3.5 to go.
The intentions were good, right? And you think when you're throwing a lob to Ace Bailey, there is no such thing as a bad pass, but he didn't have a running start. It was almost like he had to do that from a vertical leap and just didn't have the power. It is the fourth quarter. He might be a little tired. Although I would say these guys are too young to be tired. Huh? Remember when you were 17, you could just run all day, forever?
That was brought up this week, though, particularly with the Montverde kids. Just because they've been going so strong, won a national championship last week, and you come here, you're up early, you're grinding every single day. Edgecombe off this time, and here's Flagg.
Nice.
Over his shoulder, party time. Isaiah Evans.
Duke to Duke. Cooper Flagg, Isaiah Evans going to be teammates next year in Durham.
That picked off by Bailey, and now the Americans, they can taste it. Harper. Whoa, Newell. The United States is shining. Get out the goggles.
I don't need binoculars to see what Team USA is doing, using their defense to get out in the open floor.
And now Bailey with a strip. Shot clock down to 1. Harper's got it. It is showtime right now. Catch and shoot 3. And Ivansa with the rebound. Edgecombe is fouled.
Well, when you have defensive versatility that you can just unleash. Yeah, this is Isaiah Evans. Well, watch Cooper Flagg jumping in there. I don't know what he's doing. I heard you and Kim Adams talking about ballerina dancing in the women's game. That was like some sort of turn, a ballet turn for Cooper Flagg.
We've got a timeout. 17-point lead for the U.S. In his commitment video, his name is Boogie Fland.
Just star power. Yeah, Boogie's got 9 points on 4 of 8 shooting and showing a little bit of, like, his bag's deep. He can shoot the 3, but when he gets in the lane, he can score with either hand. He knows basketball, he knows spacing. He doesn't force a lot of stuff, which is important for a combo guard. And what I mean by combo guard, he is a point guard. I would label him as a point guard, but in a moment's notice, he could turn into a shooting guard and a really good one-on-one player. Of course, Boogie Fland is committed to Kentucky. John Fanta, that is interesting now because John Calipari left Kentucky just last week to go to Arkansas, and now Mark Pope left BYU to take his place. Mark Pope played at Kentucky, and so there's a lot of things still up in the air, and we are not fully sure if Boogie Fland is going to honor that initial commitment that he made to John Calipari or not. We'll see, I guess.
We'll see. You talked about players committing to coaches. The Kentucky brand is obviously a little bit different, and we'll just have to stay tuned. Mark Pope gets introduced in Lexington tomorrow afternoon, and you have to imagine his phone will be active as he tries to build his roster.
Yeah, Mark Pope can coach now.
Yes, he can. You like that hire?
I do. The only thing I'll say is Mark Pope has never won an NCAA tournament game. So there's a lot of Big Blue Nation that are wondering, like, they're not doubting whether or not Mark Pope knows what he's doing. They just wonder if he has the experience enough has he won enough to take over Kentucky and lead them to a national championship? Because you and I both know that they want Final Fours and national titles. Just winning 1 or 2 games in the NCAA tournament isn't going to get it done there.
Bingo. That jumper falls home for Jaden Quaintance as we hit 90 seconds remaining. The U.S. came into tonight having won the last 3 Nike Hoop Summit men's games. Looking for a 4th tonight. They're 17-7 all time in this event. And as we hit just over a minute left, what has stood out to you the most about this performance?
Just the versatility of all athletes. I'm not just talking about Team USA, which is going to go on to win this game. I've been really impressed with the maturity, the basketball IQ of these guys. I remember playing in this game, and I remember what it was like when you're 17, 18 years old, and you don't know a lot. You don't even know what you don't know. But these guys are at I'm not even trying to be fake humble here, at a higher level than I was when I was 18 years old, especially the stars of this game. Ace Bailey, Cooper Flagg, Nolan Traore from France. I said at the beginning, John, Nolan Traore was going to be one of those guys that American fans, they've never heard of this guy before from France, and remember it, right?
Nolan Traore has any possible avenue he'd like to take. Whether that's stay international, play in France, or end up going to college. You said it. The timing for a player his age.
He plays the most important position in basketball, which is lead guard, point guard. It's hard to win at any level if you don't have a lead guard that can get you organized, can score, gets guys involved, has a high level IQ, is the coach on the floor.
Isaiah Evans gets it to go, and we've seen Isaiah Evans, the future Duke Blue Devil, flash in this 4th quarter.
He's got a body like Brandon Ingram too. He's not as tall, but very long and lanky, but very athletic. And
Here's Will Riley. You like his upside.
I like that Will came in at like kind of last minute and really took advantage of his opportunity.
This was a 2-point game 25 minutes in, and then the U.S. just put the Jets on. Cooper Flagg and company as Quaintance hits the M1. Asa Newell without Patrick Gongba, another Duke Blue Devil. He did not play tonight, just unavailable. But we saw Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, what they can do. A well-rounded performance. And the United States has taken the last 4 Nike Hoop Summit men's games.
This game means a lot to these guys. You can see it too. They're hugging each other, and they have built a real camaraderie, a real friendship. A lot of these guys are going to go their separate ways, and they're going to continue to play against each other at least for 1 year, John. Next year in college, teams like Rutgers and Duke, they're going to battle it out some more. But look, this game has produced 38 NBA All-Stars. Did we witness some future NBA All-Stars tonight in Portland? I bet you we did. I can't guarantee and tell you which ones, right? It depends on, a lot of these guys have the foundation. It's just up to them whether or not they want to work hard enough and whether or not they want it.
Here are the facts. This event has generated over 200 NBA alumni and 15 #1 picks. Out of this list that you see right here, you're going to see some NBA players. Odds are, if history suggests anything, and Cooper Flagg, not only 19 points, but 11 rebounds tonight.
Yeah, 11 rebounds. Battle only played 8 minutes in the first half because he had 3 fouls, but was dominant in the second half, including 2 threes for Cooper Flagg. Dylan Harper didn't have an efficient night, just 4 of 11 shooting, but still did a little bit of everything. 14 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals for Dylan Harper as he's signing autographs.
And while Dylan Harper signs autographs, Cooper Flagg is talking with our Kim Adams.
Thank you, John. Cooper, this was a 2-point game at the half. What impressed you about how your group was able to pull ahead and close this one out?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the fact that we stayed together. We stayed calm, cool, and collected, and we just came out with that fire. And that's all it was. We stayed together.
And I know you're a part of a lot of high-profile events around this time of year, but to have this one with the Team USA across the chest, what makes this event particularly special?
No, I think exactly what you said, just having the USA across your chest. It always means a little bit more when you're representing your country.
And you're in your last couple of weeks, months here before transitioning officially to a Blue Devil. How are you soaking in these moments and continuing to become a better player?
Yeah, I mean, obviously just enjoying my time, staying present, staying in the moment, and just trying to get better every single day.
All right, Cooper, congratulations, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for the time.
Thank you.
The pride of Maine, Cooper Flagg, relish every moment. That's what he's doing. He is a special individual, Casey Jacobsen. A pleasure to be with you tonight.
Oh, I had a blast, John Fanta. It's still basketball season. It never ends, brother.
It always is. For our entire crew, our final score again, the US 98. The World 75 for Casey Jacobsen, Kim Adams, and all of our crew. This is John Fanta wishing you a good night from Portland from the Nike Hoop Summit.